happy. I love beauty content. Like, I love it. I watch it all the time. It's great. I've learned a ton of stuff from those women. But I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a fucking, sorry, I'm swearing so much. I've gotten an email from someone being like, hi sweetie, like we want you to review this beauty product. Like we saw like one video that, like they clearly only saw like one thing on my channel. Like, cause I did a favorites video or something, or I did a makeup tutorial once. And it's just annoying that people assume that like that's the only thing that you're good for. And I've had networks reach out to me saying like, we want you to specifically create like beauty content. I'm like, have you looked at my channel in the last 5 months? I haven't done anything like that. And I think people just expect you to do certain things, and if you want to branch out into tech or gaming or anything else that is like traditionally like more centered around men, it's like absurd and people don't take you seriously, and that sucks.
When I started out, it was a lot of kitchen and sandwich jokes, which was just like, you know,
so original.
Yeah. Like literally, not, when I get harassment that actually is original, I kind of have this moment of like, oh cool, you tried, right? Because the thing is, it's just all the same, right? So, you know, it was very similar to a lot of the other women that I've seen online get harassed, right? Like we kind of buckle down and we expect it, which is such a horrible place to be. And then when I launched a Kickstarter to fund a series of videos that would look at women in video games is when my life completely changed. And I had a massive cyber mob come after me, and they have still been after me for the last 5 years. And it was this interesting moment because I didn't even release a video on the topic yet, right? Like these primarily men lost their minds so aggressively that I was being doxxed, I was getting bomb threats, they were going after my family, just all kinds of stuff, in addition to the you're ugly or you're like I want to fuck you or whatever the disgusting things that they do. Like they can't make up their mind really on what they think. And I think that what's sad about it is there's this playbook, right? Having been in this space and being an advocate to end online harassment, you just see that it's the same garbage over and over again, and it's devastating because you're watching these women's lives be destroyed. And I think intersectionality is a really important point here because the way that women of color and the way that trans women and the way women with disabilities get attacked online is different, and it's compounded by all of these different intersections. Yeah, and so I think it's a conversation that needs to keep happening, right? If you Google my name on YouTube, you get shitheads like this dude who are making these dumbass videos that just say the same shit over and over again. And like, I hate to give you attention because you're a garbage human. Whatever, dude. Wow. But it's, you know, like the fact that these dudes are making endless videos that just go after every feminist over and over and over again, I think is a part of the issue of why we have to have these conversations. We don't just get to be online. We don't just get to participate like everyone else.
Unreal. You do get to put, you're up on the stage, we're not. We're down here.
Yeah, the other question I was going to have to that is that I think a lot of women, I'm curious first to say, how many of you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
And how many of you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or had one and were maybe discouraged and stopped because of the way you saw women being treated? So that's the thing that I find really sad to see as well, is that not only does it affect creators in a very personal way, it also discourages a whole generations of female creators from having access and comfortable use of this platform.
So Sargon's over there.
I'm also wondering, so I mean, I had a weird question. There's this place called The Wing in New York.
Oh, I'll ask the question. Don't you fret.
To this concept of women's clubs, which existed in like I think it's like the 1940s and 1950s.
Okay, thank you.
Places where women got together, women-only spaces. And talk about their lives. Unfortunately, mostly white women only spaces.
Don't worry, guys.
They weren't the most intersectional places ever.
Sargon was the
but
guy.
The Wing is an example of a place that kind of straddles the Soho House Members Club vibe, but also does bring in all kinds of women who have thoughts on all kinds of issues and gives them a platform. I'm wondering whether you guys feel like there needs to be a physical space for the communities of women, or how you would see supportive networks of women coming out in a way that could both encourage potential creators, but then also provide the kind of support that you do need when your personhood is being attacked in an ongoing kind of way. Are there any ideas of ways that you would want networks of women to form, or that you have seen effective?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and shout out some women community
FemTube, which is it's a Twitter chat that happens, and also a playlist of videos from women creators. Those are things that Allie Taylor and Rowan Ellis run. Those have been really cool to see, and a way for women to connect over social media. There's also a Women on YouTube Facebook group, which has been really cool, which actually sprung out of one of the women panels from VidCon a couple years ago. But I found those to be pretty helpful. And yeah, like physical spaces would be an interesting thing to try and crack, like perhaps having things in the YouTube spaces.
That's
maybe.
Yeah, it's
but it's hard because
because of the nature of data and how people have access all over the world. It's tough to do that, but it would be cool to see something like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hashtag FemTube. FemTube, that's easy. Yeah, Netflix is one specifically for girl gamers. I think Anna Robinson maybe like kind of been founding it. They do stuff on Twitch, and it's just kind of a collaborative online community. I think they have a Twitter, it's just Misfits.
I'm gonna move away so I can like hop up first and ask a question.
It's so easy to feel isolated online, right? That we, like if you're a solo creator, you're just making your own videos and doing your own thing, or like if you're getting
Anita can see me better.
You might think you're the only one, and I think over the last several years we've seen such a rise in women talking about their experiences, like continuing to do the work and also talking about what it's like to be a female creator, so people feel women feel less isolated in this space. So like I'm not familiar with these groups, but I'm like, oh cool, like I'm interested in what they're doing because it's so important that we sort of band together in a lot of ways and support each other through this space so that we can be stronger and resilient and continue doing the important work that we're doing.
Yeah, because I think it's unfortunate, like you said, when someone feels like they're getting attention by doing this, by like bothering someone or harassing a woman or something like that, it definitely does discourage conversations from happening because like it feels weird. Targeted harassment is like not a fun thing to deal with ever. But yeah, I think you're right though. It's just making women feel like comfortable to speak out about their experiences so that other women, if they decide to branch out into any creative fields, can like recognize a problem when it's starting and stop it from getting like out of control.
And it sucks because I am often the poster child for online harassment, right? Which is just kind of a gross thing. And I don't want my experience to discourage other women from participating and engaging and doing, like making beauty videos or making videos about gaming or making videos about whatever the hell they want to make because they should do that if they're interested. And so how do we create a space that really makes women feel a little bit safer doing that or feel more connected or more group-oriented? Because the thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is that there's all these behind-the-scenes networks of women who, and this sounds super conspiracy theory, but it's like, hey, can you talk to my friend? She's getting some harassment. Or, hey, my friend wants to start a video series. Can you talk to her about it? And none of this is public. It's all kind of like behind the scenes, and plugging into those networks, I think, is really valuable.
Yeah, because there's that tension, I think, as we've seen highlighted today, that the more attention you give something like harassment, the more certain people feel validated by that very attention, and it kind of survives in that way. So I'm wondering if you guys can talk a little bit about ways you address harassment. Like, are you guys
by calling people garbage people?
What kind of practical tasks can people in the audience take if they experience harassment in their comment section or outside of it? Any kind of advice you have?
Yeah, the blocked words feature is amazing. Like if you go into your community, you can just go into that. I don't even remember what section it's under. I don't know if it's under comments or like what it's even under. I can't like picture it drop down in my head. But you can go into your community settings on your YouTube channel and you can have a list of blocked words, and it's amazing because you can have them all, and all of those comments will be held. They'll be like put into a separate. So bad. Put into a separate like tab that's held for review, and the person, like the author, thinks it posts. So it's not like a person's going to make a billion accounts, even though they do often, to try to keep bothering you or getting attention from you in your comments, but it makes them think it goes through, but it doesn't, and it gets held.
I didn't know that they thought it went through.
What's that?
I thought that it was just like blocked and then they see that it went through.
No, I think it does appear.
Okay.
Facebook Hide is the same thing. They think that the message went through, but it's now hidden.
I have a lot of questions.
Funny.
Let's take a look here.
So that's one big thing that's helped me, and like honestly for me, it's like and I'm not talking about, again, I think one big thing people say, a lot of things that harassers and people that like don't think this shit through like to say is like, you're censoring me or like you're blocking me from saying something. It's like, no. This isn't a conversation. You're not starting a dialogue. You're just like actually coming to try to disrupt and be bothersome and be and inflame and like be awful and inflammatory. And it also totally throws like the entire vibe of like the channel or the chat or whatever you're posting on. It throws off the whole vibe of it and it like screws everything up. So doing that has made like it has helped so much with my comment section because now for me it's like I've had so much shit thrown at me over the years online that it like doesn't even bother me really to read hateful stuff anymore, which is like one thing we were talking about, being desensitized to it is like sad. But the truth is that I'm so happy now that I can have a place where other people who are in my community can talk to each other and not be worried that they're going to be bothered by someone as well. Because I had people in the past who, you know, if there was some situation and I was talking about something and they were supporting me, they would get harassed by someone. So it's majorly helped also to keep my community feeling like comfortable, like they can talk to each other about stuff, and that's a big thing for me because I don't want people who are going through something really difficult to not be able to share it because they're afraid to be like mocked or judged. So I think that's a really important thing.
And then the other
one's the YouTuber, but she's asking
questions.
Strong and safe.
I would wholeheartely agree, and I think that you shouldn't feel guilty about blocking or banning people. Your channel is your space.
Yeah.
So you just like you have the right to curate, what videos you do and don't put up. You have the right to curate your comments. You have the right to curate your channel art. Like, this is your space. So I wouldn't feel guilty about doing that at all, or like anyone else has the right or entitlement to use your space for their emotional expression or personal gain or whatever it is.
Another feature I was thinking you mentioned that is really great is hide the users' comments on their channel, because then they don't even know that you can't see their comments and that no one else can see their comments. It's just hidden.
Is that right? When I said that they can't see it posted, because they did tell me that though about the block words. Is that not correct?
That's right. There are lots of different. So there are lots of different options basically, and just kind of figuring out which one works. It's actually something that I don't think YouTube has fully communicated as well as it could, even that these features exist, because it's almost like as a corporation nervous to directly address the fact that like harassment on YouTube exists. So I think that kind of plays into it, but there are some amazing features and like that almost makes me feel like the women on YouTube kind of communities need to almost synthesize them all in a way.
Definitely.
I wish YouTube would, but there are networks.
I think they are working to improve comments. I went to a summit last year and they talked a little bit about it was like a women online summit, and they talked a little bit about enhancing comments.
Yeah. I mean the improvements have been amazing. Like
pinned comments and like being able to heart things and kind of control.
They're working on a lot of stuff.
If folks are worried about online harassment specifically, there are loads of really great guides out there that have been created over the last several years, and we made one that's at onlinesafety.feministfrequency.com, and it walks you through steps that you can take. That's my plug. It's very focused on sort of an intersectional lens and a self-care lens, because it can be really tough to be in this space, and like we have to shut comments down. It's just, and we get comments every day like, why do you have your comments shut down? I just want to have a nice talk, you stupid bitch, right? And you're like, what? Like every day, it's amazing. And like if I open comments, it's just flooded, and it sucks for us because we want to build community. We want our fans and our viewers to be able to have conversations. So like there are different levels to which you can engage, and I think moderation, back when I could do that, was a great tool for building community and building space.
Anita, I'm wondering if there's a place where there is a community that's able to form off platform, or is that just kind of not an option with what's happened with harassment? Like, is there a place where feminist frequency is finding some community, or is that just kind of rendered impossible?
This is supposed to be like a Go Women in YouTube, and they're just talking about harassment. They haven't stopped talking about harassment the whole time.
So doing public events is always risky, and if you do that, we can't do open calls because you don't know who's going to show up.
The woman on the
it's something we're
all the
trying
way to the
navigate.
end, who's a gay woman, hasn't said shit. Because you know what she said? She said.
So moving kind of over to you
she
guys
said,
as YouTube
I don't pay attention
viewers,
to it.
I was wondering
That's why she has
how
no input on it,
and whether
which is a good
you
thing.
think about gender when you're deciding who to watch, who to follow, and whether you have like
gender
tendencies towards certain people and certain types of content. Like, is there decision making there, and what do you want to see more of as well?
As a woman, I'm offended.
I didn't think so until I realized that like a bunch of the women, or a bunch of women, there you go. The people that I'm subscribed to on Twitch are women, and I think the reason that I skew that way, because I follow tons of people, like all genders, whatever.
Can they name one?
It doesn't matter. If I like the content and I think
okay.
what the person is saying is intelligent and important and it's a good conversation, then I will watch. But I definitely think that I skew more towards like louder support of women because I feel like they don't get it from that many
Right
people.
here is like the shitlord crowd.
I think it's really important.
I was
to
sitting there and then I left.
And like I think also it's really important to me too to support other women because I feel like a really big issue, or at least a thing that I felt growing up, was like an intense pressure, like an intense competitiveness between women, and I really hated that shit. So I think now it's more than ever, it's like important and really, really critical to shout people out and give people attention. They're bringing light to really important issues. And another thing
I
is,
don't think they will. I think that they're just there to listen and record. They will make their videos about it.
We need to remind people.
No one,
we need to write letters. We need to send emails to VidCon, to people who organize events like this. We need to make it as diverse and inclusive as possible because we can't just sit here saying that shit and not actually doing it. So that's going to be the first.
Doing what? What are they going to write a letter about?
in the future.
What are they going to
I
write?
think that I mean, I pretty
That's
much
at least
watch
me.
anything on YouTube, regardless of like whatever. I mean, I watch a lot of LGBT content, a lot of lesbians, so like I guess maybe I do skew towards watching women. Yeah. I mean, like most of my
there's just like a murmur over there. I don't know what's going on.
Are just like young women, so I mean, they kind of don't experience it. So I don't know anything to like this scale at all. Not
That's so interesting that your audience is made up.
yeah, and like young people who are like, how do I come out?
Yeah, well, I think I'm
She was just talking, but
like interesting people who I'm watching, and I'm interested in like identity and experience, and so I think I and a lot of people, and probably a lot of yours as well, gravitate.
I don't know. I don't know everybody's names, I'm sorry, but I know that one's Anita Sarkeesian, one's Ali Speed, and I don't know the other three, sorry.
So I do wind up watching a lot of black women, and a lot of women, and a lot of people of color. I do watch some white guys, but it's also like, you see white guys around everywhere, so it's like I'm looking for stories that haven't necessarily been told. I'm looking for people who are not all
So white guys don't have
looking,
stories.
For people
Is that what
who
I
I
should
need
have
to go
said?
on YouTube to find, because that's an accessible platform for everyone to express their voice and their perspective.
I make it fun.
Do you think YouTube as a platform overall has helped you kind of understand, not just
Women
kind
on
of listen
YouTube.
to and see, but
This
really
is women on
understand
YouTube,
gender
guys.
and identity in a way that you hadn't before? Or is it just
Definitely starting to, yeah. Yeah.
In what ways?
Just the visibility. I mean, like just being able to listen to people, people who identify as like non-binary, listen to people's stories like that, because I don't personally have any friends who identify that way. So, I might not even be realizing that I'm missing out on that type of information. So I think that's why it's really important for people in those other groups to be like represented and supported.
So
and I think it's
diverse.
it's obviously helpful when other creators do it, but when like a company or a corporation or someone like VidCon or YouTube recognizes them as well and supports them, that's huge. It's like everyone tells you like, be yourself, you don't need to search for validation, but like there's something to be said for someone being like, sure, the way you feel is real. It's a real thing. It feels good. So I think it's really important to have access to those.
I've gotten a much better understanding of sexual identity and gender identity through YouTube in particular. One, just because I guess my friends don't talk about it as much, or don't identify as not in weird ways as much. But also I think because people
No, I know, I was being a dick.
they can really express themselves
course,
on YouTube.
of
Like
course.
there's an openness
I agree with
to
that, but
those conversations, and people are
there's a
really
weird
willing to make
sentence
themselves
either way.
vulnerable in a way that
The way
they
that she
aren't
expressed it.
necessarily in like day-to-day conversation. So that's been like really great, and I feel really like privileged to be able to see people who have been able to open up and like make themselves vulnerable in a way that they don't have to, but they're choosing to. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Yeah, YouTube's been a great. That's such a good point. I know so many people who post on YouTube, and everybody just assumes that like they're the most extroverted, well-spoken people, and they are. Like a lot of creators are amazing people, but they're also also creators who are incredibly shy, and all their content is scripted. It's very hard for them to speak about.
Well,
these
that's another
situations on
conversation
panels
we don't have to
they
have.
anxiety, or they don't feel
It's not
comfortable.
about that.
So I think YouTube is an amazing vehicle for that. It definitely highlights voices that otherwise wouldn't be heard. Yeah.
On YouTube overall, we're kind of seeing, or at least in the kinds of videos I watch, I'm seeing a trend towards videos that don't feature faces as much, that feature more like video essay style content, animation, and so on. I wonder whether you guys have any opinions on like how that will affect women's roles, and like whether, I don't know, I just always have this feeling that the voice of God, the kind of educated voice, is typically a man's, usually a white man's. And how will that affect the way women create, and also will it go against kind of visibility, or does the fact that the video exists in itself provide a kind of visibility that doesn't necessarily need to be direct to camera?
So interesting. You're so right. I hadn't really thought about it in that way, but like the people who come to mind who are big video essay people are like male voices. I think with that is interesting because if you're doing a video essay, you're kind of being informative, like it's an educational thing. And Vanessa Hill of Braidcraft, who does educational videos, actually just made a video about how like you are just taking with less authority if you're an educated woman trying to educate. People will just like not take you as seriously. So I wonder if that plays into the success of like male-voiced educational channels, that they're just kind of taken with this credibility that women aren't.
I don't think I've ever seen a video in that style of it.
What was that question?
It's all men. I mean, the ones that I've seen have been all men. Have you seen like a rise in women's voices in those kinds of videos?
No, I mean there was actually one YouTuber that Hank Green actually recommended to me, Lindsay Alice, I think is her name, and she does that kind of pop culture commentary. So Lindsay Alice, but she still uses her face in it. And so, yeah, it's been interesting
for building other women up, huh?
Even in overdone videos, like it's always, even when it's not like when it's like an animation studio that's hired someone separately, it's male voices.
Yeah, definitely. I just thought of, when you said Hank, I thought you were going to say the girl that I looked up through him. I actually found it through an ICG email. I think he's doing something with her on a podcast. I don't remember her name, but she's a really talented animator, and she actually made a video about why she never shows her face. And I thought it was so fascinating. So I'm actually going to
doesn't show her face.
Is it?
Yes. Thank you. I am the worst. Is it Jaden? Jaden? Yeah, Jaden Animation. There you go. That's the one. J-A-I? Is that right? I'm like grilling you. I'm so sorry.
I don't know who the other one.
I'll tweet about it. But yeah, she made a video about why she doesn't show her face, and I found it both like sad that she. Sad that not that she had to do it, but sad that the idea of being judged, like your content and what you make being judged because of the way that you look, that's shitty. That sucks. But I also thought it was such an interesting perspective. So I'll find that video and tweet it out.
Yeah, it really sucks being judged, but we're judged about fucking everything.
So I'm going to open up questions soon. So just really, hone in on those questions. But when we do these panels, a lot of the time, the advice that's given at the end, like if you have a piece of advice for women creators, it's just be yourself. And obviously, that is an intensely complex situation to be in.
Who am I?
And I wonder if you have any advice that's particular to women creators, other than all the wonderful things that you've said today.
No, they're not paying any attention to the crowd.
Yeah, that
not
you wish
giving
were shared more.
Any kind of vibe to
if there's anything that you feel like can, help encourage people, but then also like particularly women.
How do I put it? Like the chemistry of the crowd.
Because my whole message is just be yourself, but apparently
you gotta be
it's not safe for everyone to do that all the time. So I think probably my advice would be stay safe first and then be yourself.
That's all you gotta do. Dude, there was a guy here that had his hair dyed and he was like a pineapple.
I would say find other networks of supportive women.
Yeah.
like find lady friends who are going through the same sort of things you're going through, so you can kind of share in that experience, share tips,
getting ready
share
to make
wisdom,
questions
and
over
just
there,
having somebody else to lean on.
They will be asking questions,
empathize
and I will
with
ask
has
a
been
question.
really helpful
Any
for me.
questions you guys have an idea about? Because
I think that's one.
I want one.
I got so behind on it this year, but a big thing that I was trying to do is to shout out other creators that I've really been loving, and I think that's a big one. I would just say try to show support, because if you sit and you expect support, you expect people to show you respect, listen to your voice, give you views, etc. You should do the same for other people that are creating content, and I think it's really important to, if you find something that you really enjoy, to share that, because that's one thing I feel like.
I'm not gonna ask that. I want to ask something
of,
insightful.
It's not gone entirely, but I think like YouTube, it's such a self-serving thing, and people get so used to just doing everything on their own and promoting themselves for so many hours,
Kind of a bitch.
For so many years, that they get lost in that. I got lost in that, and I think it's really important to show support and to highlight other people who, especially people who's like we were talking about, whose voices and stories maybe either aren't highlighted or you learn something from it. Share it.
I'd say be gentle with yourself, right? Like in all regards of making video production, audience, like making mistakes is okay. Things don't have to be perfect, which took me a long time to learn. And also, if you need to take breaks, if you need to step away, if things get a little hot, like you don't have to model your behavior after other people. You can do what you need for your own self-care. So in terms of the whole, and I don't just mean online harassment, but of course that's a part of this, but in terms of like video production can be hard, and being on camera can be hard, and always feeling like you have to say the smartest, most important, best things ever. Like follow your passions, do what you love and what you want to be doing, but and don't worry about being perfect out the gate, right? Like I started with a piece of fabric tacked up on my wall. Like,
maybe not in
right?
that way.
It wasn't the most like perfectly arranged work, and I think if you have such a high bar, or if you have such a high bar for yourself, you might never hit it. So just like find someone to pull up your phone and like make a video with you. And also, imposter syndrome is real. We all have it. If you think that you can't do it, you totally can. I'm telling you, some of the most professional people I know just sit around being like, I can't do this. I don't know why anyone's paying me to do this stuff. So try to calm those voices in your head and just make cool shit.
Yeah, and that's such a good one. It's not a loss if you have to take a break. No one won. No one pushed you out. You have to take care of yourself. That's a really important one.
So now we're going to take some questions. If you want to ask a question, queue up behind the mic, which is just middle aisle. It goes without saying, I think, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you harass anyone on this panel, I'm not going to take your question. So if you have a question, please, queue up in the mic. People going up there right now. All right, first person. Can you let us know your question, please?
Hi, my name is Gina. Just had a quick question. Would you say it's kind of fair that if we spend too much time talking about all the harassment that does occur online, no one's disputing that. But if we spend too much time talking about that, doesn't that kind of take up too much time and take up too much space? And we could be talking about, the positive comments that you guys have received over the years.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, you could do it. You have the panel right now,
Yeah, but there are 3 rows, full rows of people that are intimidating.
You're right, and that's the thing too that we did spend a lot of time talking about harassment, and I think that sucks. It would be really awesome to be like, hey, we make these cool videos. Let's talk about video production. Let's talk about subject matter. And the sad reality is that it's the common thread through all of our work, and unfortunately, that's the direction that we went on this panel. But I agree, it would be really nice to go to women.
Sorry, that the common thread that you lovely ladies have is so inherently negative. I think next time around, positive it up a little bit. I'm just,
I think it's also nice for other ladies in the audience to hear how we are dealing with it if it's something that they're going through themselves. So I don't think it's a bad thing to bring up.
I think it's a yes and thing, I think it's hard when you have this one place kind of to have these kinds of discussions. You almost need like a women VidCon. Which is just you can talk about these things, but then you also talk about all of the different things, and everyone on the panel just happens to be a woman. That's kind of the other side of it as well. But thanks very much. Right. Next question, please.
Hello. If I could, I'd like to ask a question specifically to Anita.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm an asshole. I just walked right through someone being signed to.
The various things that you've said online over the past few years.
Oh, that was Joey's salad.
Okay. Alright, sorry, can we please remove him from the question line?
That is not harassment. I'm asking.
It's a stupid question.
Can we please remove the question as harassment?
And you don't. You spend.
I have a serious question for everybody up there. Why do you guys act like only women face harassment online?
I don't think anyone.
You guys constantly feed the trolls, and look, the majority of the people here are trolls because they like to see you freak out about it, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're feeding.
I mean, even your
trolls.
language, like freak out about, like no.
See,
you're just mocking me.
If you talk about one community facing harassment, that's not to say that no other communities face any harassment.
See, you're harassing me right now when I'm.
Can we please remove this question from the line?
No, that was dumb.
Next question, please.
I'm answering.
Next question, please. Hi.
That's fine, and you know what, dude? When there's a panel talking about that, we'll talk about that. But that's not what we're talking about here today. So it's not like no one can ever talk about anything other than this. No one on this panel said that. So.
What's your question, please?
I was wondering how you deal with harassment in online gaming.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. How do you deal with harassment where?
Harassment in online gaming.
I mean, a big thing for me on Twitch, unfortunately, is just having people removed from my chat. Like, if people continue to, like, say hurtful things to me or to other people that are in my community, then they don't get to be there. It's like what we were talking about before, where, like, this is the space that I've curated. This is my house. If someone's being rude and breaking shit in my house, then they leave and they're not allowed back in my house. So that's sort of how I deal with it. I mean, I just have people who moderate my stuff for me. And, you know, if someone comes into my chat and brings up a point, and I can tell that the person is actually trying to have a conversation, then I will have a conversation about it.
I can see where they're coming from too.
Or like someone just being
crappy
to me, then I don't let it exist there. And that pretty quickly like sends a message to people that like that stuff won't stand.
But the whole thing is, again, you know, like I asked, they're just still talking about
I have
negativity.
2 questions. Is that okay?
Different.
I have a question for Allie. You mentioned in one of your videos that you kind of moved over to the Twitch platform and that it's been really good. But how do you deal with sexist men like Joey? And how do you pick your battles, kind of? Because you said that you wanted to have like a dialogue with someone and have it go somewhere.
Right.
But how do you kind of pick those battles?
That's a great question. Sometimes if I honestly like it gets exhausting sometimes to talk about. So I'm just like, all right, I don't feel like talking about this today, or I know I can't handle it in a way that's not gonna kind of derail the entire like stream. So I don't. But if there's someone talking about something and I realize that it's going to be helpful for me to and cathartic for me to sort of like talk about it and go through in my head the way I feel about an issue and then present it. And also if I feel like it's going to be helpful to the people in the chat to hear what I have to say or to have a conversation about it, then I will say something. So that's sort of how I deal with it. Is like if there's a question that's asked and I'm like, oh, this is a great freaking question, or this is a really important issue, or someone brought up something that I really feel like people could use a reminder for.
It's freezing in here, by the way. I'm like shivering.
But again, if it's just like you're ugly or whatever, it's like okay, cool. Like I know what I look like. I'm 27. I own mirrors. Like it's fine. I don't need anyone to be like commenting on my appearance. That stuff doesn't really matter. But yeah.
My second question was just to kind of lighten the mood. What are the games that you're looking forward to in 2017? 2017 looks like it's a good year.
Yeah, it's really good. E3 was really cool.
Super Mario.
Yeah, I'm excited
Mario
for
Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey's really cool. I'm looking forward to Anthem. Anthem looks really cool, and Destiny 2, obviously.
Yeah.
So excited.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Yay.
ARMS. I haven't played. Has anyone played that? It just came out. I haven't had time.
I've heard it's awesome.
Oh, I can't wait.
Played it yet.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of people online.
Out of concern for the
pigeonholing women into certain roles. Have you considered that focusing so much on how they are, women are victimized by these harassers? Have you considered that this is actually focusing so much on how they are victimized that it pigeonholes them into a victim role?
I didn't even hear the end of the question.
If we focus so much on women being victims, then we're pigeonholing women into being victims.
150.
Well, there.
I don't know. I'm a really bad.
I guess we could talk about something like empirical evidence, like statistics of abuse against women. We could talk about that.
No, do you know any? Or do you just
Can we
say
move on to
talk
the
about
next
it?
question, please?
I think that it's important to have these conversations about online harassment because it continues, and I don't want to be identified as a victim, and I don't think anyone else on this panel wants to be such, and this is why we're here talking about it.
Yeah.
That we don't want anyone else to be victimized or targeted, and until that stops, we're going to keep talking about it. And I'm sure as hell tired of doing it, but I'm going to keep going because it keeps happening. So it's not happening because we're talking about it, it's happening whether we talk about it or not.
Yeah, and I just have to say that a man screaming women are powerful over a woman answering a question on a panel about women is a pretty good example of like the problem. So
what?
I think women are
powerful, and that's a problem.
They can handle being called a bitch online and not have to.
Can we have the next question then, please?
This is like.
So they're allowed to pass, okay.
Hello. I wrote this down just to be sure. How important do you think it is to engage with people that genuinely disagree with you, and how would you define this disagreement or criticism? Or how would you define genuine criticism?
I was genuine.
Well, when someone is criticizing me for something and it's something that's valid and not someone directly targeting me because of my gender, then obviously like a conversation can be had. That's like fine. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Like all guys asking questions.
Like for me, I think the issue is not having the conversation with someone who you disagree with. It's the platform on which you have the conversation with someone you disagree with. Because Twitter is 140 characters per message. That's like impossible. If I'm just making a YouTube video and you're writing something in a comment, it's like there's no interaction there, which is why I a lot of times will talk about this sort of stuff on my live streams because it's easier for me to be able to immediately interact with someone.
Talking the whole time.
But one big thing that I feel like I've had to do because it just turns into ad hominem attacks like 2 to 3 like sentences in is I just try to educate myself by like reading publications or reading articles or like listening to other people's stories that I know are like in direct opposition to the things that I believe, and that's how I try to like just at least stay aware of the way people feel that are not on the same side of issues that I.
Sorry. Do you want to start again? Sorry about that.
Yeah. You asked a question earlier about who had a YouTube channel or who hadn't started a YouTube channel yet but abandoned it because they have a fear of talking about hard questions or being harassed. And so I wanted to ask what advice you would have for someone who was just starting out on YouTube about creating a brand and how that brand intersects with their feminism and how they're femininity
talked about
like making
how they brand
mistakes and
themselves.
saying something that maybe you realize later was an issue, something you shouldn't have said.
Right.
Just controversial things in general.
Yeah, I think it's hard when, there are certain topics that unfortunately,
I'm not the judge.
I feel like we have a whole range of genres of YouTube videos and none of them really even fit into any tight, neat genre. But there are certain topics that you know when you talk about them or when you mention a particular word, it's going to get a kind of attention. And it kind of goes back in some ways to Anita's advice about being gentle to yourself, because I think that when I was starting out, I felt really frustrated with myself if I spoke about politics and then there was a big backlash to it. Not even because of what I was talking about, but because I was a woman who had an opinion on politics. Like, I would get frustrated with myself for not articulating it in a way that didn't attract all of this kind of hullabaloo, to put it the nicest way possible. So I think that allowing yourself to take pauses when you need to. You don't need to start in like a 3 or 5 videos a week upload schedule. And if you do feel like a video you've made has attracted negative attention, harassment, Don't feel like that invalidates your right to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I would say that my go-to for any time I'm starting a new project, or I'm in a lull, or I'm feeling discouraged about what I'm making, is to talk about things that I really love. And I feel like when you talk about things that you really love and you're really enthusiastic about, people can tell, no matter whether it's your very first video or your 500th video, and whether it's filmed on a webcam or in like a high production studio. And that for me is my go-to. I don't know about you guys.
Talk about what you love. That's a good one.
Yeah, love is
Sorry, I had a hard time hearing the question, but at the end, did you talk about like if you make a mistake and what to do after?
Yeah, so I'm going into a field of study, I'll be a freshman in the fall, of political science. And I'm still in the process of completely creating my political worldview. And I want to talk about things and start discussions about beliefs that I have that aren't necessarily like mainstream beliefs, and hear different sides of the conversation. And maybe I put something out there that I later change my opinion on, and how to deal with that.
Yeah, I think that that's a really, really good question. I think especially like you're going to be evolving your political beliefs throughout your entire life. And I think that folks, our opinions change as we get more information, as we get older, as we learn more things. At different levels of privilege, we have a tendency to make more mistakes and saying stupid shit until we learn otherwise. And sometimes we only learn it by being called out. I think that it's really important that we really celebrate a culture of like learning from our mistakes and apologizing for them sincerely, and then moving on from that, as long as like understanding what went wrong and how that works. So if you're talking about something like your political views might be evolving and changing, I think it's kind of cool that you're already thinking about that, right? That can be kind of the shtick of your channel, right? That can be, I'm exploring these ideas, come explore them with me. And then as you go, you can make more videos as you're evolving and changing and being like, hey, remember that thing I made a year ago? Well, this is what I think now.
Yeah.
I think that that's valuable, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be some criticism or a little bit of backlash that may come from that, which should hopefully be more positively critical and help you grow in that regard.
Yeah, but you'll also definitely see a shift in your audience as well as
that happens
change.
all the time.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, you'll attract a different type of person, or you'll have different types of conversations, and I think that's helpful and important to you also to grow as a person, is to be able to interact with like different groups in that way.
Good luck.
Again, unfortunately that's all the time we've got for questions, but I wondered if we could end on shouting out women on YouTube, or just making things online who we admire that you would want these guys to check out.
Dude, I love Francesca Ramsey's Decoded. She's amazing.
All those shitlords.
Not that she needs a shout out, I'm just saying.
I really love Evelyn from the internet. She is hilarious every single time. She talks about a range of different topics, from like identity to personal stories that are hilarious to Beyonce. Like, she's just fabulous. Evelyn from the internet.
I'm gonna shout out to Twitch streamer Ammunition. She's awesome. I love her stuff.
I watch a lot of Rose and Rosie. They're like British. They also do skateboarding as well. They're hilarious. Oh, and then LGBT as well.
They're so funny.
Well, thank you so much, my panelists. Thanks for coming along. Let's keep the discussion going. Thank you.
Anyway, so let's go wander over there and see what everybody thought. And then I gotta go because I'm hanging out with Sean. So yeah, let's just go wander over to the crowd really quick and see if I can talk to folks. I don't know. Oh, Andy Worthy, you're leaving right now. I've been live streaming this whole thing. Yeah. Can you say hi? Okay.
Yo, what's up, everyone? I was cringing so bad, and Chris was like, "Calm down, man."
Were you ready to just jump up? And
I was saying like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
What did you watch?
No, thank you. Just try to be nice. Oh, we have to leave now.
They just started yelling at me.
What'd you think? How was it?
That was remarkably intense. A fair amount of the time, only because she made eye contact with me, and then her phone came out.
Oh, right.
And so like then like she started recognizing Sargon, Sargon, calling him a garbage person in front of an audience of people, not giving him a chance to respond, all while going underneath the guise of what did you say? Yeah, I'm here to have a conversation about these issues, but yet it's a one-sided dialogue. It's not a dialectic. It is not even a debate at the barest sense of the term. And once again, showing that she's entirely about the money, not about the industry, not about the feminism, not about the music. And I would go as far as to say that Anita probably just hates women. Ouch!
So yeah, that was pretty good. I'm gonna mill away. I'm gonna go have dinner, but yeah, it's good to see you guys. Oh shit! Knocked something over. So anyway. I'm gonna head off here to Dave. I asked
Oh God!
What'd you think?
Wow, I was the most cringiest thing I've ever fucking seen.
That's the general consensus. Joey. Hi, there you go.
Professionally trolling Anita.
I remember you were guest on Fashion Friends one time. Yeah. What'd you come on for? I'm sorry. There we are.
I was on a few times.
That went better than
You were on a few times. How's that happen? Who called you?
It was just like,
It was cool. Just wanted to say hi.
I'll try it again.
Okay. Bye-bye. Sorry, I'm an idiot. All right. I'm gonna walk out. And Bunty. One moment. Everybody's very, it's a big deal around here. I had seen him. He was a panelist on Talks of Friends a couple times, so I just wanted to say hi. All right, guys. All right. Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know. This is fun. This is fun. It's cool hanging out with people. So, you wanna follow me out? Try to get to my car, I guess. Say bye to the shitlord crowd, guys. Alright, so I guess Sargon's over there too. That, like I said, that's who Anita was shouting at. Okay. I mean, I don't know who have to. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna, since I feel awkward, since I feel like I'm not invited to whatever they're going to next, I'm gonna just make my way to I think where my car is. Don't know where it is, but my phone battery. I can't be doing like hour-long live streams these days. I will have my selfie stick tomorrow. I don't even know where. Okay, this is not where I'm supposed to go. I'm going. Like everybody's very polite and very nice to me, which is cool. But like, I don't feel like I would be welcome to like any kind of party they have. So, I do have a selfie stick. I have it in the hotel room. So that was fun. I'm glad I got to ask a question. So lost. I'm glad you guys are joining me. This is really cool. I'm very. This is what I came here to do. It might be one of those. I totally will be. I came here to do these live streams and have like more of this. Thank you for watching. No, I'm not gonna stream while driving because I have to get off here and talk to Sean. Sean's texting me. We're gonna go and have some dinner, which will be nice. Sean and I have known each other for years online, and now we get to actually hang out, which is really cool. Yeah, bit of a circle jerk party. It's okay though. because like I'm not like, who am I? I'm just like this. I'm just. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $2 donations, Fizzy. Thank you so much. So help pay back some of that internet that I bought. So I'll be back here tomorrow, and you know, I'll be doing like I think the best course of action would be to, I guess, do like. See, now I got bad internet again. If you can see this, I'll do I'll do sporadic streams, like 30-minute streams, and then charge and then come back. So, all right. Yes, go check out Matt's stream. Oh, I don't know what time. Yeah, there's 2 more days. I'm leaving on Saturday. Yeah. So I'll have more selfie stick tomorrow, and I'll look better tomorrow. So thanks for joining me, guys. That was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care.